we haven't got enough officers, we haven't got enough resources or money. Well, stop wasting your time on non-crimes then, you absolute plod idiots.
I'm often, almost on a weekly basis, in danger of being stabbed.
I am having a very good time, not like this man here.
I've been prosecuted for a hate crime. I was acquitted. It cost me 60,000 quid.
In the old days, of course, it was work hard, go to university, get a job, get promoted. Now they seem to believe that their career path is getting onto the X Factor, or maybe Love Island.
We're going to start with Kev. Non-crime hate incidents, Kev?
I've been prosecuted for a hate crime. I was acquitted. It cost me 60,000 quid for something I was supposed to...
What did you supposedly hate?
It was supposed to be that I was supposed to have said something homophobic to a gay guy on a train who actually attacked me with a cup of coffee. He tried to throw it on me. So, anyway, it was Kafkaesque, it was sinister, and...
Cafe-esque.
Yes.
And it took...
Very good. Strong start from Russell.
What is this, like a word play?
Don't get grumpy about wordplay.
This is like
that can actually be fun.
panel
I'm going to be that ends up on his list as a subject.
So it was Kafkaesque, it was weird, it was a hate crime. So when Tony Blair brought in hate crimes in 1998, for the first time, it was the first time you could be prosecuted in this country for something you said, something you say, for more than 300 years. So for 300 years, this was a great country where nothing you could say could get you in trouble. Freedom of speech. They'll knock on your door or they'll send you a missive saying, you have been recorded for a non-crime hate incident. That means it falls just below the threshold of a crime, but you are on record as someone who doesn't think properly.
Do you think this is part of modern policing? Because I've got a VT about that.
I would like to apologise to Scotland's blind community. I hear your concerns, and I promise you they will not fall on deaf ears. I would like to apologise to the deaf community. I would like to say sorry. When I realised what I'd said, I honestly had a fit. I apologise unreservedly to all of the epileptics in Scotland for my use of the word fit. I completely understand why you've got a bee in your bonnet. I would like to apologise to anyone connected with bees or the wider bee community.
So we're laughing, but this is verging on the real, and actually particularly in Essex, where actually they're the kind of poster childs for this non-crime hate incident rubbish. So far this year, apparently, Roger Hurst, who's the Police and Crime Commissioner for Essex, has overseen the investigation of 700 non-crime, and can I just emphasise non-crime hate incidents.
This, from police forces, say, we're undermanned, we haven't got enough officers, we haven't got enough resources or money. Well, stop wasting your time on non-crimes then, you absolute plod idiots.
Well, if it's about what happens on social media, your phone will get nicked and you won't be able to post anything anyway, so it'll be fine. Russell, tell us about Millennials, no less.
Yeah, so when I was asked to come on the show and I was asked to reflect on the things in life that irritate me the most, Millennials are right up there, I have to say. So that self-entitled...
Other people.
Well, no, you say that.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
I wanted to start with people generally.
Yeah, people.
But the producer said that might be slightly too wide a demographic. So let's narrow it down just to Millennials that are nothing less than a very self-entitled bunch, in my opinion. They think they have the entitlement and the right to a house and a job and the bank of mum and dad and all sorts, really. They seem to think that their career path, in the old days, of course, it was work hard, go to university, get a job, get promoted. Now they seem to believe that their career path is getting onto the X Factor, or maybe Love Island, or maybe getting more than 100,000 TikTok followers. And they can't understand this whole concept of, working hard, progression, and so on. I actually blame, and I think this all goes back to non-competitive sports days that were brought in about the time of the birth of the first Millennials.
Oh, no, you see,
where we were told, you don't have to win. It's not about winning, it's all about taking part. You came 17th, Kev. Here's a little medal. You're OK. So you go through life thinking, well, if I rock up late to that job interview and I don't get it, it's not my fault.
I think it's more obvious than that, Russell. I think it's the Kardashians.
They came later, though.
No, but I mean, they're sort of to blame. You can draw a very thick line to anything that's wrong in society back to them.
Listen, I was a TV critic for 12 years. I had to watch 36 hours of television every week. I Am a Celebrity, X Factor, Strictly Come Dancing, every piece of you can possibly
Hang on,
imagine.
I don't know about him
I do
watching
not
it.
watch television ever
I
anymore.
want to see him on it. I don't want to see him watching it.
Yes,
I
I'd
want
like
to see
to
Kevin O'Sullivan eating kangaroo testicles.
Yes.
Don't we all?
But shall we take a look at somebody of a millennial nature having a job interview?
I want you ready to go at 8 sharp each and every morning.
That kind of doesn't work for me. Who gets up at 8?
I do.
I don't even get to Starbucks until like 10, where I order my grande chai tea latte, 3 pump skim milk, light water, 2% foam, extra hot, but not too hot. So if it's okay, I work best in the morning at 10:45.
Amy, I don't think we're going to be a good fit.
Why are you so negative? You've given me no guidance, no validation, no encouragement, no supervision. Is there an HR director somewhere?
HR director?
Yes, I need to speak to someone. I may have to take off today as a mental health day.
That's
the thing about millennials, these young people, that they misunderstand what a job interview is. They think it's they interview the employer about what they get. So much money, how much lunch hour, how long is that,
And
when
now
do
give
I
me
go
feedback
home?
on how fantastic I am.
Yeah, exactly.
So that kind of sums my point up, really, I think, that video. I mean, that is, I know it's a parody, but again, it's pretty close to reality.
I quite like the new development now, which is the exit interview.
Yes.
That one where it's like, well, tell us why we're firing you, or tell us why you're leaving. I don't. It's
What's
like,
the point? You just leave, don't you?
You just leave.
Just leave.
Yeah, you got paid more and you're off somewhere else, or you realise you're
And the
rubbish
extension
at
of
your
that
job and you had
now
to leave.
is they're also the entitled demographic that absolutely believes they have the right to work where they like. They can work not just from home, but maybe be one of these, what's this, digital nomad nonsense? Have you seen that? That actually should be on here on its own. Digital nomads, that I should be able to go to Barbados with my laptop and you should still pay me for popping up on a Teams every now and again.
Don't blow your wad now, Russell. You can come back and talk about digital nomads another time.
They don't see. I mean, the cultural shift has created this generation of people who seem to think sort of working is a kind of an option. You know, you might want to do it, but probably
and
not.
that the employer's
bit
there for a bit of
boring.
charity.
You know, you can do better things with your time. Oh, what about paying your mortgage? You know, feeding your kids or anything like that?
No, they're going to do that, or the state.
But this does lead to the problem that we were discussing before. I was telling Russell about a mate of mine who works very hard. He went into the VAT threshold with his business and he did the numbers. He'd be better off on benefits.
Yeah, well, that is a bad thing, and that's a governmental mistake. They should certainly incentivise people to work. You shouldn't make it more lucrative not to work. That's, I mean, you know, successive governments have always done this.
But the notion that people in their 20s and 30s now are going to be thinking about becoming entrepreneurs, like some of us are, and taking the commensurate risk, I mean, that's for the birds now, because these millennials, this particular demographic, they're thinking, well, why would I want to do that? I might not earn loads of money. There's a bit of risk. There's a bit of humiliation if I fail. So roll forward 20, 30 years, we'll have no entrepreneurs in this country at all.
And so there won't actually be any difference between working and leisure time. Does that mean that my issue I have this week would get even worse, which is people who talk in cinemas?
Yeah, that is particularly irritating.
Now, I work quite hard, and when I go out, particularly when I go to the cinema, I want to watch what's on the screen. I don't want to be disturbed. Have a look at this clip.
Hello? Yeah. I'm at the movies. No, it's not a bad time. I don't know if it's still good. Smell it.
Hey, Zoe, you never complain
I can't come on. Just throw it out. Just throw it out in the trash. I don't need it. Just throw it out.
What the hell is the matter with you people? This is a movie. You're here to listen to the actors talk. That's why the seats face the screen and not each other.
I'm with Ted. My wife actually fears going into public sort of things like that with me. Because,
with you?
Yeah, because if...
She doesn't mind going on her own?
Yeah, she's fine on her own. Okay. But with me, there's always a danger that I will get into some kind of interaction with somebody because I can't help it. I've got to tell you to be quiet.
I love that, and I love that you do that. My wife is exactly the same because I'm often, almost on a weekly basis, in danger of being stabbed, I think, by someone that I remonstrate with, as I'm going to come to in my next subject, actually, because I speak my mind, and it's apparently not the done thing anymore.
I don't go to the cinema anymore because I used to be a film critic, so for 2 years I used to see 8 films every week, so I never go.
You didn't review books as well, did you, Kev?
No, but I did do the theatre for a year.
The theatre? I don't see you as a theatre connoisseur.
I started... I was a theatre critic.
You've reminded me of so I took my wife to see a production of something once. I spent quite a lot of money. I wasn't there for free like you used to be. I spent quite a lot of money on the tickets.
I get that.
We were sitting nice centre stalls, and the woman behind me is singing along at the top of her voice, right? And I'm every so often turning around and giving her the "Are you serious?" face. In the interval, she stood up. She was German.
Was she any good?
No, awful, awful. And she said, I am having a very good time, not like this man here. To which I said, Madam, with the greatest of disrespect, I am paying good money to hear the people on stage sing, not you.
If I want to hear you singing, I'll go to a local tube station and listen to you busking.
At which point her husband shoved me. We then got into... We didn't see the second half, put it that way.
You should have said to them, let's talk about the war. How did you get on?
Well, I mean, we had a little across the trenches thing there and then.
It was a reopening of hostility.
It doesn't sound like there's much no man's land between them.
But I mean, it's that whole thing, because cinemas have developed to move on. Now you've got your luxury cinemas where they will serve you food, and it's like, hold on, we're getting away from it all here.
I like all that, the bottle of wine and
don't you
something
think,
to eat,
though, that actually, you're talking about, I mean, I'm not sure if I should mention the brand, but Everyman, which costs you about 150 quid to go with your wife to the cinema, doesn't it? Because of the food and the drink and everything else. But there is a benefit to that actually it means that you get no riffraff. It's not like going to the Odeon in Basildon, where everyone's rustling their popcorn and their slush puppies. They've paid £7 to go and watch Gladiator 2. Or they come next
to you with those trays of nachos, which just smell of arse.
Yes.
You know, so bring a tray of nachos. It already smells like it will on the way out.
Yeah. But this is all to do with the increasing entitlement of people, because it happens. I do go. The one thing I do still do quite a lot is go to the theatre, and people do the same in the theatre. Start shouting and screaming, and "Hey, Bob, you all right?" You know, it's like, hang on a second, there's some actors.
But have you ever been there where the actors stop and start pointing at the audience?
I've been there. Pete Postlethwaite once. God rest his soul, great actor. He actually rounded on my wife once.
Well, because she was talking.
No, her phone went off. I said, I'm supposed to be the critic. You know, you're sitting next to me.
Did you write that in your piece?
Well, anyway, so she couldn't turn the thing off. And so in the end, she just went... and just smashed the phone all over the... but Postlethwaite stopped and he just stopped in the middle of this sort of rather dramatic play. Do you want to get that?
Do you want to get
We'll wait for you.
I'm drowning, yeah?
Go on, answer it, I insist.
And I looked at my wife, she had this sort of crimson face.
Now, talking of people of note, celebs with Trump derangement syndrome, Kev.
Yeah, leaving Twitter. Both sides of the Atlantic. I mean, Trump derangement syndrome has been hilarious since Donald won the election a couple of weeks ago. You know, all these celebrities, I endorsed Kamala. How come she didn't win? Probably she didn't win because you endorsed her, you there's no evidence that celebrity endorsement of...
Just a reminder, Kev, it's grumpy old men, not raging. There we go.
Well, I'm angry and grumpy. That you can take this...
Grumpy and foul-mouthed.
You can take my attitude on a number of levels.
Yes.
Anyway, they're furious that, you know, fascist, racist Trump has won. And now they're expressing their fury in a variety of ways. Very funny. Whoopi Goldberg is leading the sex strike.
I've got a clip of this.
You didn't get here by yourself, man. You can't do this without us. And if we don't let you, you don't get any. It's that simple. It's that simple.
She's sort of spearheading a sex strike. If your partner voted for Trump, you're not having sex with him.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, it's the female gender generally is being asked to not date men, don't marry them, don't have sex with them, because it's men that put Trump into the White House. This is a copy of a group in South Korea called the 4B, and they've been doing it for years. So America is now taken up on it, and so have people in Britain. I remember
this must be very advantageous for the right-wing women.
And attractive women.
They've got more choice.
Yeah. Well, the other.
If you've seen the quality of some of the women on social media,
Well, I know,
said
but-
we're now going to enact a sex ban. You think to yourself, well, judging by the state of you probably haven't had sex for years. Anyway, this is not Cameron Diaz and Kate Beckinsale and Eva Longoria and so on that are doing this. This is, let's just say, the other end of the ugly stick. I don't think the world's reproductive system...
But they're all leaving Twitter now. So Sandy Toksvig left Twitter the other... I'm sorry, I'm off. She's got like 320,000 followers. Now, you know, Twitter for me, or X as it's now called, it's like a profession. It's a useful professional tool. You know, you put your wares out there. Can you tune in tonight? Would be useful for her, but she's so keen, so anxious to polish her halo and signal her virtue. I'm leaving. So she's just quit. And you think, you stupid woman.
But
You're
for
just
some
a parody of yourself.
But now on Twitter, we don't have to contend with the likes of John Sopel. He's left, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The Guardian, they've left. But what
The Guardian, yeah. Oh, what about the Clifton Suspension Bridge? They've left as well.
That came out as a parody, didn't they?
No, the
But
Clifton,
right, this is devastating.
None of them have actually deleted their accounts. They've all suspended them, knowing that they can come back when the dust has settled.
Yeah.
Hypocrites, the lot of them.
So they've all moved.
When the virtue wanes.
Yes. They've all got to Blue Sky, haven't they? So I suggest
think of a
everyone,
worse place?
don't go to Blue Sky. It will be an absolute lefty hellhole full of people telling each other how wonderful they are.
Imagine that. It's just
This is all they ever do these days.
It'll be a wash.
They just love themselves
Marina
so much.
Perkis.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, God.
Yes.
Footballer's wife. Yeah.
Russell, tell me about annoying people on trains.
Well, again, I go back to the point that people generally are annoying, I mean, particularly if they're on trains. However, there seems to be this new trend where you get on a train, as I do several times a week, Liverpool Street, back into Essex, 25 minutes, and almost without fail, every single journey, there's someone, somewhere on the carriage, that seems to either be having a conversation on their phone, but like this, where they're on speaker.
Does it only happen on the way to Essex?
Well, it might just be Essex. Maybe it's just us. But they're talking like this to their mate or their mum or their dad or whatever, and they're talking like this, Mark. You know, how you doing? What did you do today? How was your day at work? And, of course, it's on speaker, so you can hear everything that's coming back the other way. But then the other thing, of course, that I've found, and I don't know why this is a new thing. Maybe it's because apparently Apple now don't actually supply iPhones with a headphone jack, apparently. So instead of getting Bluetoothed up and having Bluetooth headphones, these morons, these idiots, get on the train and think, well, I fancy watching a bit of YouTube. So they stick Kev's show on, which is brilliant, but full blast, full volume, so that everybody across the whole train...
That is the only way to listen or watch Kev's material.
Well, I find it better with the audio off, frankly.
And the sound and picture. You turn the sound and the picture off, my show improves immeasurably.
But you know, you could look at these people like this, and again, you don't want to confront them necessarily, A, because it's Essex, B, because there's a high propensity that you're going to get stabbed, frankly. So you don't want to necessarily say anything, but you look at them like this as if to say, are you completely nuts that you're sitting in front of me and you think that you should be listening to the latest rap video on YouTube and it's not disturbing anybody around you?
Well, it can go one way or the other. Take a look at this.
Who are you? I'm just saying. You dare me? Yes. You dare me to do what? Play your music.
Sorry, no offence, but she's got a point.
She's got a point about what?
You play your music loud.
Mate, I've got my headphones in. If she don't like it, she can move elsewhere. Then she's telling me to move. She's tapping me up. I was not touching you. Oh, Lord, I requested you to turn it down politely. And I've got nothing but verbal abuse. Woman, you came in my face. I spoke to you politely. You did, and you would not. I put my headphones in, and you came in my face. You came in my face more than once. Don't start with me, you know. I am not scared of you, young lady. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Why should you be scared? Because you're just abusive.
Gentlemen,
Thank God there was no coffee there, because that could have gone very Kev.
But gentlemen, that is literally my journey home every single night from this place. Again, entitled people, no sense of respect for those around them, no social airs and graces. Again, it should be banned. In fact, it shouldn't just be banned. I think it should be an imprisonable offence. If you go onto a train and you don't have headphones and you decide to listen to something, a bit like putting your feet on seats.
Is that a non-hate crime?
It's a hate crime, isn't it? It's a hate crime.
For that woman...
Feet on seats.
That woman, angry, it's a hate crime. For that woman...
Feet on seats.
That woman, angry, appeared to be annoyed because the other person came in her face. And I think that is grounds to be upset.
Well, on a train, yeah.
But it was almost like a sketch. That was almost like a sketch.
I'm not sure I'd ever like
somewhere private.
That was almost like a sketch out the Catherine Tate show, wasn't it? But again, art, and life similar and all that. So yes, irritating.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In every sentence. In every sentence.
You know what I mean? What is that about? Yeah. The fact that you are talking to someone and they're open with, you know what I mean? No, I don't. You haven't told me that.
You know what I mean?
You know?
But it denotes someone that's very thick.
You know?
Someone that says it because they don't have an extensive enough vocabulary.
Well, it's used as a comma.
Think of anything else, yeah.
In America, it's more commonly know what I'm saying?
Or it's just
know
like.
what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Every third or fourth word is like.
Now,
like.
Hey, Mark, like, how are you? Kev, hey, how are you?
Like.
Constantly. Constantly.
In it.
That's a good one.
Or 100%.
So,
yes.
Or even worse, 110%.
Or things that are super great.
Yeah.
Not just great, not just lovely, not just wonderful, but super, super great.
Yeah. I said to,
literally
super great.
I said to...
You know what I mean?
I said to Simon Cowell once.
No, you haven't told me.
I said to Simon Cowell once, I'll just pick that name up. No,
Simon?
Seriously, do you remember the X Factor? The judges would go, that was 110% better. You gave, and then the next one will go, you gave that 500%, and then by the time it got to Cowell, 1,000,000%. And I said to him,
there is only 100.
Yeah, I said, Simon, do you realise that you can't have anything more than 100%? And he said, can't you?
This is why they're not maths. This is why they're not maths teachers, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, thank heavens, but. I remember listening, there was a younger man and he was describing something. He spoke for 5 minutes. He opened with,
Not me.
you know.
Not me.
You know what I mean?
Not
you know,
me. Not me.
I counted
You know what I mean?
in a 5-minute diatribe, pretty much about nothing, 57 you knows or you know what I mean.
So there's this guy talking, you're going, one.
I can't help it because it's the only way
I'm with you.
I can navigate the irritation is to just go, well, let's see how many times they do this.
It is like a nervous, you know what I mean? And I'm like, know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
But also the other thing of literally.
I hate literally.
I literally died.
I literally died when you said that.
Did you? You're still here.
I kind of wish you had, but you're still here.
I literally exploded. You didn't literally explode. That's exactly what you didn't do, literally.
No.
Literally is...
Perhaps you could.
And going back to my point,
nice.
it's normally millennials that say this type of stupid stuff.
Well, but it is to fill in the gaps that miss in somebody's vocabulary, or my other favourite one. Now, I did a thing with my son because he started saying basically.
That's another one. Yeah.
Basically. So I said to him, look, there's 100 quid, right? And in the month of October, every time you say basically, I will take £5 away. Yeah.
Did he owe you money?
Little sod ended up with 80 quid.
There you go.
Wow.
But so they don't have to say it, is my point. They don't have to say it.
But has he gone back to basically in November?
Yes. Straight back, basically, yes.
I used to go out with this girl.
He literally did.
He literally
You know what I mean?
I used to go out with this girl, right, and she was the daughter, I won't mention his name, of a very famous author. So I knocked on the door and I said, is Fiona in? He goes, basically, she's out. I said, what do you mean, basically, she's out? Is she out or is she not out?
And he was
not basically.
You should know better.
Yeah, I know, he's a very famous author.
At the end of the day...
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I mean...
You're doing it now. I mean, know what I mean.
We're going to be all doing it all afternoon.
Yeah.
No. Or back in the day. Back in the day...
Oh, at this moment in time.
At this moment in time.
What does that mean? You mean now?
At this... You know what I mean? At this moment in time, back in the day, 100% literally, I cannot bear it.
That was good. That was good. That was the definitive sentence.
It's the definitive sentence we end on. Thank you very much to Russell and Kev for this week's Grumpy Old Men. Please stay grumpy.